to the Walking in Aloha Let's Talk Story podcast. I am home on Oahu. I have been in San Diego for this past week. It was incredible. The When My Soul Speaks retreat with Lisa Nichols, Sean Smith, and the Motivating the Masses team was just amazing. Oh, words cannot explain. I need to go buy a book. Um, Kevin Goins. I don't know how to say his last name. Anyway, he's one of the SAT coaches there. He recommended a book on Amazon, um, and it's in my orders right now. I live in Hawaii, so it takes a day or two. It doesn't like just arrive here like my son's. Oh my gosh, we could get it overnight. I was tripping out on that. But so much, so much. The one thing that I have to say about being in the group, being in those 5 days, was allowing me to just open up, to let go of things that was like, I don't know, you just think about what am I going to say? The perfection, the judgments, the things, and you just hold back. I think what happened was because of those walls, because of those things that we just let, or it prevents us from speaking up, prevents us from being real. I know that what I do on my podcast is I be as real and authentic as I possibly can. Look at my voice. My voice is like, it was just so amazing. So letting it all out. So I'm telling you, what happened was something shifted in me, something shifted in my soul because I got home last night. I parked my bags in the room, got out of my travel clothes, threw it in the laundry, crawled into bed. And that was it. I was out. Didn't unpack a single thing, didn't do anything else except go to bed. And it was pretty early. Um, we go back in time when we come home. So we gained a couple hours from California. It didn't matter. My body was like, it doesn't matter. Um, I tried to sleep on the plane, but I had Coach Vaughn's playlist in my headphones, right? I had it in my headphones from the time I left. Tony Jones, just agreeing with everything that is being said, feeling every word, knowing the truth in the lyrics. I couldn't sleep. I was like, I would doze off and then I would just come up with something else and I would like get on my phone, write it down. So that was happening for the 5.5 hour flight over to Hawaii. And then when I got into bed, I fell asleep. And then I woke up because I had a dream. And normally, as soon as I wake up, I forget what I was dreaming. I know I was dreaming, but then I forget. And I can't write it down. I have a book on the side of my bed, and it's blank because every time I wake up, I'm like, what was it again? And I can't even remember it. And it's just so like it came to the point where I actually prayed and I was like, Lord, I know that there's something to be said. There's something, but I can't remember. And so I could never write it down. I could never write it out because every time, as soon as I wake up, I forget. But then I have that longing, that feeling inside going, what was it? Man, I just, uh, maybe if I just go back to sleep. Mm. You know the feeling? Have you ever had that feeling? Not today, not this morning. I wake up and I know my dream and I can write it down. Not just the dream, but I can write down words, what was felt, how people looked, what was said, like details. I was like, that is just so crazy. Because it's been years upon years that I couldn't do it. So I write it out and with the help of AI, right? So I drop it in the prompt and I just don't want to drop it in ChatGPT any old way. So I say, like the best dream interpreter in the world and, like analyze this dream for me or whatever. See, I can't even remember exactly the prompt that I wrote, but let me pull it up because what did I say? Oh, yeah, I said, as the best and most experienced dream interpreter on the planet. Right? So, anyway, I dropped the prompt and it is incredible. I'm like, wow. So, I figure it's early, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. The first dream was, right? 5. I wake up at 5 and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to stay up. But after I write out the dream and after I share it with my group, the When My Soul Speaks group, I'm laying there with the phone, glasses still on, and I lay back. And I am out again. I just fell right back to sleep. 3 hours later, 5, 6, 7, 8, no, 4 hours later, it was 9 o'clock, I think, when I woke up again. And I have another vivid dream, and I'm able to write it out completely, word, like words that the person said, the feeling that I had, details, details. And then I shared it again. And it's so good. I just believe that when we made it through all of that, going up to the mountain, driving all that way, it was like an hour drive out. Um, it wasn't the most like carefree kind of drive. It was always tense. It was always like not the best, you know, because we had to wake up early, we had to get out there. Um, and then there was rain. The tent that was we were in started to flood. The water, they were doing their best to keep the water out, but then the water started running down into the tent. And, being used to like watching and being vigilant about safety and just the things that I normally do on a day to day, recognizing things like water getting too close to electrical things, um, being alert on water dripping on speakers, things like that. Just the normal day to day safety things that I do. And then, like I told Johnny that I help my brother at times, like with his uh, gigs and stuff, and like watching if people are walking over cords or things like that. And so, just the things that was natural to me, I noticed. So, those kind of things were natural for me to recognize, and I brought it to their attention. And so, it was like, oh, we're going to need a move. And so, they actually moved us up to the big house. So, where it was their personal space, they gave up their personal space. They moved things out, they moved things around, they put things outside. And they opened up the living room area, put chairs in there, and opened up that space for us to do the rest of our days over there. So it was so incredible to do that. And I think just having that openness, that vulnerability, the true laying down, that servanthood, that true uh, real realness of it all. It just brought, like I said, it brought out a shift in me. And so I was able to open up more. And I think that is why I was able to dream. And not just dream, but remember my dreams. And the two dreams that I had, and I wrote it out, was so incredible and so on point that when I did ask for help through ChatGPT, and yeah, people may not think of AI like, oh, you're gonna actually use AI to interpret your dream and believe it. Well, yeah, I'm gonna use that as a guide, as anything else. It's a tool, but it's just so incredible. And I wanted to share that with you. I know that this is our 90-day jumpstart. And this is a huge, huge, like I said, jumpstart to 2026. When I started the 90-day jumpstarts, I said it wasn't just for you, but it was for me also. Because I didn't want to wait till the last minute and be like everyone else. And on December 31st, I make a New Year's resolution just to have it fall apart a week later or 2 weeks later. I wanted to start to make changes well in advance to bring in 2026 powerful. And it's, like I said, I'm no different from anyone else. I just do things a little different. And sometimes People look at me like I'm a little bit more extreme, a little bit more, but I am. And that's one thing that I'm going to be. I am going to be a little bit more. I am going to be a little bit more extreme because that is who God created me to be. And I pray that my little bit of more, my little bit too much, is something that you can hold on to. That's something you can hang on to when you feel like you don't have it in you to hang on to. When you need that little bit of more, then let my little bit more be yours so that you can get to where you need to be, where God wants you to be. Sometimes we all need a little bit more. And sometimes if you don't have it, it's okay to attach yourself to my caboose so that I can carry you for a little while. It's okay. It's perfectly okay. I had to do that. I had to do that. And I'm perfectly okay if somebody else needs to have me now. If my extreme, my too much, my overflow can flow on you, then so be it. You're welcome to have it. That is what we are here for. I didn't record for yesterday because, like I said, we got on the plane. Our flight was early, uh, and I was gonna record when we got home and stuff, but I chose to sleep. I chose to take that time, which I'm so glad that I did because I don't normally sleep that long. My sleep patterns are really bad, and I don't sleep an 8 hour day. I can sleep 3 hours and go on for the next day. And to me, that's okay. But it's not healthy. So what if I can do it? Sometimes the things that we can do is not okay to do. So I know that it's better for me to go and take the time and sleep. So it was a nice catch up of all the sleep that I missed. Choosing to sleep, choosing to miss out on things like I missed Inner Circle with Kaylee Chu. They're in Australia, so midnight is when I get on with them. I chose to miss that because I was asleep. But I didn't record for the 17th, which is Monday, and today is Tuesday. So we're going to back up and we're going to do Monday, November 17th, day 46 of our 90 days. So let me record for day 46 of 90, and I thank you for listening to all of that before and letting me share the wonderful works of Lisa Nichols and Sean Smith and my journey through When My Soul Speaks this past week, because it was incredible. And I truly do invite you to attach your caboose to my train if that is what you need. You can use my overflow. And just right now, the focus is health and healing, right? For today, Monday, November 17th, day 46 of 90. And the focus is leading from overflow, not exhaustion. And I did not make that up. I did not choose that when I started talking about that. It's just the way the Lord works, and it's just the way that He orchestrates everything. And I love that this is one for today. Scripture is Mark 6:31. Come away with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest. And that is what I did. Affirmation is rest restores my ability to lead with clarity, and compassion. Rest. Breathe in that. Rest restores my ability to lead with clarity and compassion. So today, schedule 30 minutes of intentional rest today. Not as escape, but as preparation for greater impact. And that is what I did last night. I went to sleep. I prepared. I said, I am going to sleep. Even leaders need refilling before they can pour it out again. So, yes, this may be yesterday's, this may be for Monday, but this may be something that you needed to hear for today. Whenever it is perfect timing. So remember that you need rest. You need time to go to the Lord by yourself and get rest. And rest doesn't always mean you need to go crawl up in bed and go to sleep. That was my meaning of rest. But rest sometimes may be that you just need to be quiet and go grab a good book and just read. Or it means that you need to take a 30-minute walk. That is your rest. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my headphones back on and I am going to walk it out. I'm going to walk and I'm going to enjoy the sunset. And I'm going to listen and I'm going to marinate, like Siobhan says, marinate in the truth of who I am, who God created me to be. And remember some of the things that came to me this past week. Things that Coach Mark blessed me with. Things that Coach Kevin blessed me with. And so many others. The overwhelm was abundant. But it was something that I truly, truly needed. And when they say proximity matters, it does. There is power in proximity. And just being that close to so many amazing people, it was incredible. The one thing that I really, truly walk away with, and I need to remember, not saying anything negative to anyone, but I need to remember, is that I cannot give my $1 million vision to someone with $100 lens, because they just can't see what I see. And it's not their fault. It's not fair for me to think that they should see what I see. That vision wasn't given to them. It was given to me. And so I have to stop thinking that my $1 million vision is something that can be seen by those with $100 lens. So let me hop off, and then I will come back on and I will come in with today's jumpstart for Tuesday, November 18th. And I will share with you something else for my event that's coming up. So until then, God's blessings always, and a hui ho. I will be right